Hello friends, I am Amir Anwar Nizami and today we are going to study the analytical solution in MATLAB for a simply supported beam carrying uniformly distributed load. In the last class we have studied for the point or concentrated load, and today we will study about the uniformly distributed load. So let's start. So first of all we will see that a simply supported beam is shown here, and left side it's a hinged support where we know two reactions are there, vertical and horizontal reactions, and this is the roller support where vertical reactions are only possible. So here it's shown that distributed load is given on this beam, and the distributed load length is L of UDL, which is the length of the UDL, and C is the distance of the UDL, initial position of the UDL from support A. So it's the UDL is starting at a distance C from support A, and L of beam is the total length of the beam, and this is the CG, distance from A, so center of gravity. So CG, distributed load, is having its CG here because the equivalent concentrated load would be approximately acting at this position. So this distance would be equals to C plus this LUDL by 2. So we can say that this CG distance is nothing but C plus L of UDL divided by 2. So this we will reach up to this position. That is the distance of the CG. Now, so here it's shown the reaction R1, H1 and R2. So we know the degree of indeterminacy. What is that? It is the total number of reactions minus unknown, total number of unknown reactions minus equilibrium equations. So total number of unknown reaction is R1, H1 and R2. So 3 minus equilibrium equation is how much? 1 equilibrium equation, summation of force along Y, second summation of force along X, and the third moment about any point. So 3 minus 3, that is equals to 0. So 0 degree of indeterminacy means the structure is determinate. The structure is determinate, and we know that the determinate structure are those which can be solved only using the equilibrium equations. So these three equilibrium equation is sufficient to solve this problem. Okay, so now we get the reactions, that summation of force along y-axis, this is the equilibrium, first equilibrium equation. So we are considering upward as positive sign, so R1 is acting upward, so it is R1 is positive, R2 is also positive, and negative of Q, distributed load, but we know that the distributed load should be act in a equivalent concentrated load. So Q multiplied by UDL would be a equivalent concentrated load, because this Q is always in the running length, per unit running length, suppose kilonewton per meter or newton per meter. So we have to make it in the unit of forces, because it is in Newton or kilonewton, it's also in kilonewton or Newton, so it must be in the same unit. So kilonewton per meter must be multiplied by the running length, that is meter, so then it would become the kilonewton. So equivalent load should be made here. So we have multiplied this Q into L of UDL. Okay, so that is equals to 0, and horizontal force summation of Fx, that should be equals to 0, and right side we are considering positive, so H1 is equals to 0 because no other horizontal forces are acting here, so that is H1 is 0. And now the third one is summation of moment about point A is equals to 0. So we are considering about this point, the moment is 0, so R2 is acting in the anti-clockwise direction, and R2 multiplied by this distance, length of the beam, this distance is L of beam, so R2 into L of beam minus this equivalent concentrated load is Q into LUDL, this is the load, multiplied by this distance from A. So from point A is CG, that would be CG, that should be equals to 0. So we are getting from here that R2 is nothing but equals to Q into L of UDL length divided by length of the beam. So we get R2 here, we have already got H1, and we can get from here R1 is equals to nothing but Q of LUDL minus R2, and R2 we have already known to here, so we get the R1 value. Okay, So shear force and bending moment at any section. So we will see here that how the shear force and bending moment section is distributed. So at least we have to make here 3 sections we have to choose for this, because we have just seen the UDL load is acting at a distance C. So between this span 0 to C, a section must be chosen here, 1 1. Then within this UDL load, one section must be chosen, so this is the section 2 2. And after just ending of this UDL, there is one more span, so here one section at least should be chosen. So 3 sections are required here to be chosen. So we have chosen the 3 section. Okay, section 1 1, section 2 2, and section 3 3. Where section 1 1 is, we can say that section 1 1 is from 0 to C. So it's here 0, x equals to 0 here, and x is equals to C here. Okay, and then the second section would start from C to C plus LUDL. So it will start from this length C to this length C plus LUDL. Then the third section, that would start from this point C is this distance plus LUDL is this distance. So it will start from C plus LUDL this distance to the last point, which is length of the beam. So these 3 sections has to be chosen. Now, so here it's clearly shown that how the sections are chosen: 1 1 section, 2 2 section, and 3 3 sections. And R1 and R2 are the reactions. Horizontal forces was 0, so we have not shown that. So section 1 1, this is 0 to C, and we know that the shear force at any section is what? Shear force at any section is sum of all the transverse forces acting either left or right side of the section. So we are simply seeing the left side of the section. So that is R1, which is acting upwards. So we have with our sign convention, a negative sign would be there. So we have put that negative sign here. And bending moment is R1 multiplied by this distance. So here for this section, the variable is x. So it is the x distance from here, where x is varying from 0 to C. So x varying from 0 to C. Then shear force is minus 1 1, bending moment is R1 into x. Now section 2 2, we will see that this section 2 2, this is acting at a distance C to C plus LUDL. So here C to C plus LUDL, and shear force at 2 2. So we will just add the shear force within this section. So sum of all the transverse forces acting either left or right side of the section. So we will see that from here, from this point, this is, we can say that variable is x now, and this variable x would start from which point? It is telling from C, which is here. C is here. C to C plus LUDL. C plus LUDL, which is this point. Okay. So that sum of the forces would be minus of R1, and this load up to this point here to here, it is acting on the left side of the section. So it would be downward positive. So here plus of Q into x is the total length minus C. C was this distance from here to here. So that we are subtracting to Q into x minus C. So shear force at the section 2 2 would be this value. And the bending moment is R1 multiplied by this distance x, perpendicular distance x, and minus of, which is acting in the anti-clockwise direction moment. So Q of x minus C multiplied by CG. So the CG would be x minus C by 2 from this point, because this is the load here. In this section we have chosen this load, this value. So this is x minus C distance, this much. So CG would be somehow here. So equivalent load would be acting somewhere here. So this distance from this would be how much? X minus C by 2. So we are just multiplying this force Q into x minus C with x minus C by 2. So therefore the bending moment at 2 2 would be this value. So now coming to the third section. So let's see the section 3.3. So here the third section is shown, that C plus LUDL to length of the beam. So this is the third section. So from here to here it will extend. So shear forces is the sum of all the forces acting left hand side of the section. So left hand side is R1, which is here with minus sign because acting upward, plus this force equivalent force would be how much? Q into how much this force would be there? Equivalent load would be Q into L of UDL. So we are just making Q into L of UDL. After that, bending moment at that section 3.3 would be R1 multiplied by X. X is the distance from here to this is X, where the third section is chosen. So R1 into X minus Q into L of UDL is what? Is the equivalent concentrated load acting with a distance. How much? We can see. So total distance is X, and if we will subtract this distance, so this distance is how much? We know this distance is CG. We have already considered. So this distance is CG. So X minus CG, we will get this. So we get the bending moment for the section third set. So now we can easily plot the bending moment and shear force diagram. So this part we have to do in the MATLAB, because we are just doing the basics at MATLAB. That first we solve it by hand. How we will solve? So we know that first we have found the equilibrium equations, and then from equilibrium equations we have found out the reactions. Then after after getting the value of the reactions, we then find out the shear force and bending moment at any sections of the beam, and we can plot the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram from this value. Now for the MATLAB code, what is required? So we know that in the MATLAB, that's empty, nothing is written in the script. So what we have to give? First we have to give the data there, that what is required. So first the length of the beam, that we have to put the input there, length of the beam. Then the distributed load, magnitude of the distributed load, what is the length of that. So length is 2 meter, 3 meter, or whatsoever the UDL length, distributed length. So we will just give that value. So we will give that. Then third, this is the distance of the starting position of uniformly distributed load from left end support. So that is denoted with the C. Okay. And then the intensity of the magnitude of the uniformly distributed load acting on the beam. So this position, so the intensity is denoted with Q, and the number of parts to discretize the beam here. So we get N, and then length of each part, we know that delta L. So each part length, so length of the beam divided by the number of discretization, so that gives the delta L, length of each part. And the coordinates of the beam along x axis, so we know that the coordinate would be, so x1, x2, x3 and so on. And this position, we know that it would start from x equals to 0 to end with x equals to L of the beam, and each addition would be the delta L, that would be the addition to each value, so each coordinate. So we can write in this manner. So here it's shown some basics, that how we have discretized the beam, that a beam is there and we have given an n equals to 7. So it is the discretized parts of the beam. We have discretized here the beam in the 7 parts. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts. And then here it's written that number of points is n plus 1. So n plus 1 is the number of points. So we can see the points because 7 part is there of the beam. So points or nodes, we can see 1 node, 2 node, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is n plus 1. So we can see that n plus 1 node is there. So 7 plus 1 equals to 8 node. And length of each part is the length of the beam divided by n. So length of the beam divided by n. So this is the length of the each part. So x is starting from here at x equals to 0 at this position. So here at x equals to 0 to the x equals to length of the beam at end. So these position that's varying, and each position is varying with delta L. So here it's shown that how x varying, and that x is stored, a matrix x is stored in a vector format, that x1 equals to 0, x2 equals to 0.2 and so on, because we have chosen the n equals to 5 and number of points equals to 6, and then delta L equals to 1 by 5, so that is equals to 0.20. so it's just increasing with 0.2, each increment is 0.2, 0, 0, 0.2, 0, 0.4 and so on. So the length of the beam is 1, so it's up to that point it has written. So a loop, it's showing a loop, for loop is there. So for I equals to 1 to n plus 1, x of I, if I is 1, so the first value would be there, that x of 1 is nothing but storage in this is at the first position is 0. So x of 1 would be 0. If we will ask for x of 2, then it would be 0.2. Okay, and so on. So x at any position we can get the value, and so on. X of 3 is how much? 0.4. So and so on, we can get any values within this vector. So here it's showing the shear force and the bending moment. So we have seen the storage was there in the x we have stored the data, all the values of x we have stored. So here we have stored the data here, and that size was n plus 1, that was varying so in this manner. So here the size of v would be the same as the size of the x. So here we will just initialize size of x comma 1 comma 1, that's the zeros of values, and bending moment also, because shear force and bending moment would be plotted against the corresponding value of the x. So storage of x of data corresponding to each value of x. So we initialize this part. So now we will just see how we will write in MATLAB. So we will just give for I equals to 1 to n plus 1, then if first section x0 to c, then we will write that v of I, that is the shear force at I, whether it I equals to 1 or any position, because n plus 1 coordinate is there for the beam. Okay, so any coordinates where we want to find this value, so corresponding to that node of x value, we will get the shear force. So v of I equals to minus of r1, m of I equals to r1 corresponding to x of I, that is the moment. Similarly for the section 2, if this is the criteria that our section lies in the first way, so we will get this value. Otherwise, if it lies in the second section 2, then else if, we have to write this else if, and then we will go to this value x c2 c plus LUDL, and the shear force and the bending moment would be corresponding to this criteria. And otherwise, if those criteria are not fulfilled and the section lies in the third, then else we will write else the shear force and bending moment would be this, and then after we will end it, and end for if and else, then we will run the program and we will write plot shear force x comma shear force, and plot x comma bending moment, and we will get the shear force and bending moment diagram. So now let's start with the MATLAB, how we will just solve it. So here we have just written a simple code. So CLC clear all, close all, display the simply supported beam with UDL. Now our starting point is this, we are just starting that it is the length or L of beam, length of beam, which is the input, enter the length of the beam in meter. So we will just input the value, whether it's 4 meter or 5 meter whatsoever we required. We can first do one thing, CLC. Oh, now let's start. So first we give the input to the length, dimension of the length of the beam. Then we give the intensity, enter the intensity of the uniformly distributed load, and then we give the number of discretization of the beam, length of the distributed load input, and C, which is the initial position of UDL from the left support. So that's we denote with the C. And CG distance we have seen that was equals to C plus L of UDL by 2. So these data are the input which we have seen before. Okay. Now delta L, now it is the discretized part. Each discretized part is L by N, and X was the vector which was varying from 0 to L, and each increment was delta of L. And the shear force we have initializes zeros of this, and bending moment. So initially we have just made the vector format for that shear force and bending moment. Now R1 is the reaction which we have found out from the equilibrium equations. So reaction is this, and R2 is this value. Then we will just apply the loop. So for II equals to 1:n plus 1, if the section 11x is greater than equal to 0 and x is less than C, then shear force is this value and bending moment was this value. Else if this is not the criteria and the load lies in the section 2 so else if x is greater than equal to C and x is less than equal to this value, then shear force would be this value and the bending moment would be this value. And even though if this is not the criteria, that the section lies in the third part, section 3, then the shear force would be this and the bending moment value would be this much. And then we will give the end to it, and after that we will write the command that plot x comma v, means coordinate on the x-axis and the shear force on the y-axis, and with the color we have just written that what the color we required and so on. So here just we are writing color. Okay, so let's see. Run the program. So enter the length of the beam, we are just giving 6 meter length. Enter the intensity of the uniformly distributed load in kilonewton per meter, so we are just giving it 10 kilonewton per meter. Enter the number of discretization of the beam, so we are just giving 200 points or 200 parts, so the number of discretized points would be 200 plus 1, means 201. And then the length of the distributed load, so total length we have given 6 meter, so distributed load we are giving suppose 2 meter. Enter the initial position of the UDL from the left support, so it is asking for the initial position of an UDL from where it's starting and what's the distance from the left support, so we are just giving 2 meter. So it's the value given here, and we can see the graph, 2 figure are there. So first figure, it is the simply supported beam carrying UDL, so it is the shear force diagram and the beam axis, and here it is the bending moment diagram with the beam axis. So we can see that the values in the section 1 is constant for the shear forces, then it was varying linearly in the second section because UDL distributed load was acting there, and then again the shear force becomes constant. Similarly, bending moment diagram, we can see that initially it was linear up to this point, and after that the position 2 at 2 meter distance, the distributed load was started. So distributed load, due to that distributed load, the bending moment diagram is here quadratic in nature. And then again after 4 meter, where the distributed load ends, then again the load is the diagram of bending moment is linear. Okay, so this is the bending moment diagram of the beam. So we have seen the shear force and bending moment diagram for the simply supported beam carrying UDL. So this code was very easy, and we can just write this code with the help of what we have solved analytically. So each step we have seen, and directly we have shown here that how we can get the values. So in this lecture we have just done the analytical solution with hand and also with on the MATLAB code. So now in the next lecture we will see the finite element method and how we will solve the problems using the finite element. So till then, have a good day. Thank you.